Hello everyone and welcome to week 6 of English 90. This week you're going to begin with watching our lecture, which you're already doing, step ahead. Then we'll be reading in Citizen, pages 67 through 79. You'll also be watching two videos that I've embedded in the discussion, and I'll talk about those when we get to them in the lecture. Then after you've done that, you're going to participate in the discussion forum about our reading from Citizen and the two videos. As usual, your main post will be due on Saturday at 11:59 p.m. and your response to 3 peers posts at least will be due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. We are not doing a grammar lesson this week because we are starting a writing unit, and you'll be reading a very brief section of The Least You Should Know, called Finding a Topic. That's pages 233 to 235. You will be visiting the Writing Center again, and you will be visiting it the following week as well. So make some time for it, and then you're going to turn in your writing assignment number 4, pre-writing and outline. So let's start with actively reading Citizen and watching the videos. So this week you're going to be reading pages 67 through 79 in Citizen. These are really intense pages where she's really talking about why she's not speaking in the voice of first person. She says, uh, she talks about how why she's addressing us in the second person in this book. There's some really stunning lines in this, and I want you to pay particular attention to the artwork on page 74, which is, if you look in the back, you'll see this is it's by Mel Chin, and it's a collage made from the Funk and Wagner encyclopedia. And it's a really stunning image, and I'd like you to pay attention to it. You're also going to be watching two videos. One is by the comic Amer Rahman. He's an Australian Muslim comic, and he describes his definition of reverse racism. It's a very funny video too. The second video features the poet Maya Angelou when she's on the set of Poetic Justice, which is a movie that came out in the 90s, that she was a part of. And she's talking about her interaction with Tupac Shakur, sorry. And she's talking to Dave Chappelle, who you may know from the Dave Chappelle show, but he's not being funny, just so you're forewarned. Um, then after you watch these two videos, I want all of you to answer the questions below. Do you agree or disagree with Amar Rahman's definition of reverse racism? Why or why not? How did watching the video with Maya Angelou and Dave Chappelle make you feel? Why do you think you felt that way? And then I'd like you to choose one of the pages between 69 and 79. And I want you to explain what you think Claudia Ray Keaton is trying to convey in that page. I want you to go into detail about it. And please choose a page that nobody else has chosen yet. If you do end up being the last one or two to post, and there isn't a page available, then you can repeat. You just need to be in conversation with what the person posted before you. Also, down at the bottom, this says 150 words. It's actually 250 words this week because you're getting 20 points for your discussion forum. Your response is due on Saturday. So your own response is 250 words due on Saturday, and your responses of 150 words to at least 3 of your peers' posts is due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. The next assignment we're going to be working on this week is we're going to begin a 3-week writing project for writing assignment number 4. So in week 1, you're going to learn all about pre-writing techniques. That's this week. In week 2, you're going to learn about writing a thesis statement and making a draft. And then in week 3, we're going to work on editing and revision. So Each week you're going to have to find time to visit the writing center, and there will be an assignment tied to that. And each one will be worth 10 points. So we're going to begin with pre-writing. So to start any writing journey, you need a destination, and your prompt is your destination. So here's your prompt for this 3-week assignment. Write a 4 to 5 page paper in MLA format that examines one of the issues currently being debated in this year's election. What makes this topic so controversial? And do you think there is common ground between the two sides on this topic? Your paper should have an introduction that introduces a thesis statement, several body paragraphs, and a conclusion. This week, you will be doing your pre-writing and your outline, and that is due on Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. So let's talk a little bit about the academic writing process, what we're going to be doing. It's a little different than what we've been doing before. Before, you've written, in this class, you've written a paragraph, you've written a very short essay. Now we're going to write a longer essay. So before you even begin writing, you want to generate ideas. And that's what we're going to be working on today, is how do you take that prompt that I gave you and come up with a lot of ideas, okay? Then you're gonna plan and draft and develop your paper. That's what we're doing next week. Then you want to revise and edit. Oftentimes you'll have to go back between these stages, but for the purpose of this 3-week project, we're going to do 1 week on each layer. So let's talk about what you want to do when you are doing your pre-writing process, okay? You want to review the assignment to understand what you need to accomplish with your writing. And then you want to choose your pre-writing technique. And you want to do more than one type of pre-writing to generate ideas. So, for example, our prompt is, you have to write a 4 to 5 page paper. So whatever you come up with in your pre-writing, you want it to be big enough that you can write a 4 to 5 page paper about it. You know that it needs to be in MLA format, but we'll be worrying about that next week. You know that you need to think about a topic that's being debated in this year's election. So you want to figure out a way to start thinking about what are those topics. So one good way to start, kind of opening up your brain to what those topics would be is to brainstorm. And that's just using free association to stimulate a chain of ideas, often to personalize the topic or break it down. You can do it alone, or you can do it with a group of friends. Right now, because of quarantine, if we were in class, I would be doing this as a group. I would do it on the board, okay? But let's talk about doing it right now. So if you were brainstorming, right? And we were thinking about it's just like letting your brain open up. Set a timer. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for a few minutes here, and I want you to get out a pen right now, like we're in class. Okay, I'm going to set a stopwatch, and what we're going to do is I'm going to add in a slide here so you can see it. This is our example brainstorming. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to just do this for 1 minute. I would like you to do it for something like 5 minutes, okay, to really get your brain opened up. Okay, so I'm going to start my timer for 1 minute. See? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write continuously for 1 minute. I'm going to start with immigration as a topic, climate change is a topic that's coming up, Supreme Court justice, fair election. Let's see what else is coming up. I know that healthcare has come up as a debate item. You see, I'm just making a list, you guys. Abortion has come up. Gay marriage has come up. Let's see what else has come up. I guess let's see, ads have come up. The other things that have come up are, uh, oh, and I'm out of time. Okay, so I just gave myself a minute and I came up with all these different ideas. What I would want you to do is after you do your brainstorming for 5 minutes, what I'd like you to do is to move on to free writing. So you go to this list and you'd say, okay, which one of these things is interesting to me? So to me right now, I think climate change is really interesting. It's something that is on my mind because of the fires. And so what I would do to do this one is I really want to tap into my unconscious. So I want to write continuously without lifting my pen or pencil or fingers from the keys um, for for a specific amount of time. I would like you to do this for a good 10 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna show you an example that is only going to be 1 minute. Okay, because you don't want to sit here and have to watch me do this forever. But when you do it, you can stop this while you're watching it, and you can set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes, and then you can do it. So we are going to do an example. Oops. Of free writing. And the idea is you don't want to judge yourself while you're doing this. So I'm going to write at the top of my page, like this says, I'm going to write a sentence at the top of my page. Okay? And I'm going to write without stopping for at least 10 minutes. I'm only going to do one, but you're going to do 10. And I'm not going to censor myself. I'm going to feel free to let my mind wander. And if I get stuck, I'm going to ask these questions of myself. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these into my example. So I have it. I'm going to ask myself what interests me about the topic. What do I care most about? What do I know about that the next person doesn't? What have I read about this topic or observed or heard about it? How might I feel about this topic if I were someone else? And so, and then after these 10 minutes, you want to go back and read through what you wrote and see if there's anything you want to dig in more to. Okay, so I'm going to put these questions up here to help myself out. I'm going to take off these. Sorry. Okay. And now I'm going to think about what interests me about, and I'm doing climate change. Okay. Okay. So what interests me about climate change is how it affects, oops, the place where I live, California. For the past 3 years, we have experienced terrible fires that have deeply affected our communities. Why are the fires happening? Can they be stopped? Why is P, G, and E often involved? Okay, did you see how I got all that? So I'm going to cancel. That was just 1/10 of the time I want you to spend on it. And I was just free associating and thinking of ideas. Okay, so you want to go for 10 minutes. Okay, good. The other thing you can do is doodling or sketching. Now, this is if you're like a visual person, say that you're not a words person, okay? In that case, what I want you to do is get a pack of sticky notes, and I'd like you to get a piece of paper or something like that, and I want you to start thinking about, writing on this page. So I'm gonna write on mine. I'm gonna write the word climate change. right in the middle here. I'll put that right there. Okay, or I could just simply write on the page climate change in the middle. Um, and then what I can do is start clustering. So you can see me, hopefully. Um, I'm going to set a timer again for like 10 minutes or so, and I'm just going to go, fires in CA, um, effect on community. I'm going to say money, um, beauty, but I'm also interested in things like floods, maybe, because we've had some floods here in a place called the Barlow. That was it was built uh, on flooded ground, and so the history. I wonder if people know the history of that place, and then also the Russian River. Um, Also, I might want to think about hurricanes, right? Or I might want to think about earthquakes and how these might be related to climate change. So you see how I'm doing the same kind of pre-writing process, okay? Hopefully you can see this picture when you pull up the video. That's if you think pretty visually. Again, you can use paper or you can just, and you can take a picture of it when you, so that you can upload it to show me, because you will be showing me your work on this. Another possibility is, oh, sorry, I did mapping already. That was mapping, okay? Mapping is where you start with a topic or idea and you just use sticky notes or cloud software or a piece of paper to arrange your ideas around the topic. It's kind of like brainstorming, but it's like giving your topic kind of like some hierarchy. Doodling is actually drawing pictures, which I'm not going to do because I'm terrible at it. But if you are somebody who likes to draw, and I know there's people in this class that do, you can just draw pictures of the topic and then translate it into words. Finally, the other writing process you can use to free write is you can ask reporters questions like who, what, where, when, why, and how. And I've gone into some detail about ways you can do this. This is about the Kennedy assassination, which is not really related to the topic that we're talking about, but it gives you an example of how you can use these questions. Again, setting a timer for 10 minutes, right, to complete. You are going to be doing at least 3 of these different processes to get into off of, remember, your prompt right here. You're going to do 3 different pre-writing techniques. It can be brainstorming, right? Like I showed you the example for 5 minutes. It can be free writing for 10. It can be doodling or sketching for 10. It can be mapping for 10, or it can be asking pre-writing questions for 10, for a total of 25 to 30 minutes, depending on which ones you do. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of time you spend on it. Then once you've done your pre-writing techniques, you're going to develop an outline. So after you've gotten kind of an idea of what you might want to write about in regards to this topic, right? You kind of have an idea, right? So now you want to think about what's the main point you want to make in your paper. And you want to make sure that your point, the main point you're making, answers this prompt. Okay, I'm going to put it back in here so you can see it. This is our prompt. So you want a controversial topic that's being talked about, right, in the election. And here you go. Here is the prompt with the is added. Okay, good. And then you're going to choose reasons to support whatever the main point is that you've chosen. So here's an example. It's an MLA format. Notice my right-hand header and my left-hand header. I just have the word outline. I have a thesis statement, but don't worry about that quite yet. If you want to try to write a thesis statement, you can. But otherwise, I just want you to put your main topic there. What is the main thing you're going to be talking about? For me, I would put climate change. And the first reason, and I'm going to actually put how climate change has affected the wildfire season in California. Okay, that's going to be my topic. And my first reason that I want to write about is going to be how it's affected the mental health of our communities. The second one is how it's affected um, the different, how it's affected different economic areas of our community differently. And then the third one will be the effect of all of these disasters on our children. So those would be my three topics that I'm going to explore and write about. So for your outline, after you've done your three different types of pre-writing techniques, then you are going to set up an appointment with the writing center. I would go ahead and set up that appointment today. Once you watch this video, you can log in and they will show you exactly. You can just log into the writing center. There is a link in this week's content, and I'll show that to you right now. Hopefully, oops, sorry. So if you go to the writing, this is where you're gonna submit your pre-writing. Remember, at least 3 different kinds. And then this is a little bit about the Writing Center. And this is a link to the homepage, right? And this is the Appointments Have To guide, which walks you through how you register for your account. And it also has some FAQs if you have questions about it. Then this is your assignment. So you're going to have to make an appointment and then you're going to review the prompt. Remember, I gave you the prompt. This is the prompt right here. Okay. You are going to review that prompt and bring it with you. And you guys are going to work with, you're going to bring your pre-writing with you as well. And you are going to work you're going to work with the person that you made the appointment with. It can be anybody at the writing center. You're going to work with them to develop an outline, and you're going to upload your outline as an attachment here. And you're also going to write a brief paragraph about your session with your tutor. What did you learn about? What did you do? Okay, that is also due. All of this is due by next Tuesday. All right. That is it for this week. As always, you guys, if you have questions, all you have to do is let me know. I'm here to help you. All right, I'll see you guys online.